Believing this to be in the best interest of the country, finally signed the clause on the 4th of September 1945, and he was assassinated on the morning of the 5th September near Makerere Cathedral steps as he went for morning service. Nsibirwa lost his life, but Makerere College gained a university status sooner than it could have been before it gave his life. So, we say that he did not offer land. He didn't have land at Makerere, but he offered his life. I have two quotes which I wish to share in this lecture. Nsibirwa's administration was highly praised by the British Protectorate administration. After his death in 1927, he was hailed as the greatest African statesman that had ever lived, that he stood out as a leader in civil and political life. So we can see that Nsibirwa had very good mentoring of administrative values under katikiiro for over 20 years. Nsibirwa was appointed as Saza Chief in Bugerere and Singo from 1922 to 1927, then appointed Treasurer and finally katikiiro in 1929. All this period must have given him good administration ability and experience. About the end of the 1940s, the British Protectorate government of Uganda wished to establish a university to serve Uganda, Kenya, and Tanganyika, was called Tanganyika as the University of East Africa. And it needed that, and needed this to be at Makerere College as the most suitable site for this institution. I understood that for too many reasons, this was a lovely, better site than Nairobi College and Dar es Salaam College. And secondly, that was one reason. And secondly, there had not been then more students going there, going to Nairobi or to Dar es Salaam, but Tanzania, like Nyerere, as you know, there's Charles Njonjo who died 2 years ago, 100 years, used to come to Makerere. So it seems that Makerere was better equipped maybe and had more teachers. It needed more land, but the East African, as the University of East Africa, and it needed this to be at Makerere College as the most suitable site for this institution. I have repeated it. However, this needed more land to accommodate such an institution. And yet, to expand Makerere College was difficult, as the adjacent land, and the rest of the land that it has acquired belongs to private owners. Some belong to Crown land, that's in Korora and elsewhere, but it belong to private owners beyond Nsibirwa Road and between Nsibirwa Road. From what I know, I remember that it belongs to private owners. The owners, some of whom were very influential and were chiefs, strongly objected to the idea of having their land exchanged for the purpose of extending the college into their land for the proposed university. But to cut the long story short, in 1900, a land agreement between British government and Uganda defined a relationship between the Kingdom of Buganda and Uganda Protectorate. The agreement had a clause 15. This clause proposed to allow the protectorate government to take private-owned Malo land for public use in exchange for another area on government crown land. But the private owners objected strongly to the idea. Nsibirwa, however, supported the idea. He was already katikiiro. The colonial officers had failed to convince the owners, and the katikiiro of Buganda was the only authority who could sign this clause for government to own the land. Nsibirwa had land close to Mulago Hospital. This I remember well. And when the government wanted to build a nurses' hostel, he allowed the exchange of his land for land at Kansanga, and the hostel was built near Mulago Hospital. Believing this to be in the best interest of the country, finally signed the clause on the 4th of September 1945, and he was assassinated on the morning of the 5th September near Makerere Cathedral steps as he went for morning service. Nsibirwa lost his life, but Makerere College gained a university status sooner than it could have been before it gave his life. So, we say that he did not offer land. He didn't have land at Makerere, but he offered his life. I have two quotes which I wish to share in this lecture. One is by Reverend Martin Luther King Jr., which I believe is well known to many of you. And in it he said, the ultimate measure of a man is not where he stands in moments of comfort and convenience, but where he stands in times of challenge and controversy. He's in Atlanta, USA, his home where he was born. There is a building in his memory called the Center for Social Change, which I was lucky to be visited in 1988 when I went to visit my son in America. And I was given this card, which bears this quotation which I gave. This very card is one I was given. As I was preparing for this lecture, this quote came to my mind. So we can say that Martin Luther Nsibirwa was ultimately measured as a man. The second quote is by Margaret Chase Smith. In it, the said public service, she said, public service must be more than doing a job efficiently and honestly. It must be a complete dedication to the people and to the nation. And I think you believe with me that Martin Luther Nsibirwa, whom the university has decided to celebrate his life in this wonderful way, is 16 days. He was dedicated to the people and to the nation. At this lecture, the administration of Makerere University has indicated in the letters I received before today that Nsibirwa's life stands tall in 100 years. I can see from all this, which I should have started with actually to appreciate. I've been appreciating it, sharing it with my neighbor, saying I can't understand how they could take all this trouble to celebrate my father. He stands tall in 100 years in this lecture. We in the Nsibirwa family are very much touched by this recognition, as my nephew, Luther Nsibirwa, has already expressed. We're touched with this recognition of his contribution. And we want to say once more on this day our deep appreciation that one student's hall was named after him in 1997, Nsibirwa Hall. With his family have always been amazed that our father, grandfather, and great-grandfather, who never attended any level of schooling, never sat in a classroom, could believe in education with such determination and to believe that what the British protected government wished for Makerere and East Africa was in the best interest for the whole country. Hence, he became determined to make it possible, whatever he could do in his power. Nsibirwa sent all his children to the best schools at the time. My elder sisters were sent to Gaza High School, and my big brothers to King's College Budo. And when Budo started to admit girls and became a co-educational school, he started to send girls there. My little sister Sarah and myself, we are the first daughters to go there, 1937. Started in P2, because we had been in Gayaza P1. And my sister Sarah is and myself were sent there. So he prized the education as we celebrate my father here. As Makerere so honorably decided to honor him in this manner, which is very overwhelming. I once again say that Nsibirwa was ultimately measured as a man. Once more, before I end, Mr. Vice Chancellor and all the staff of the university, and Kokoba Jambogo and everybody who the art school who have been able to plan all this and to organize those, what I see here the platform. Please accept on behalf of my family, my father's grandchildren who are seated there, and myself, please accept our deep appreciation for what you've done to honor him. Mr. Vice Chancellor, katikiiro I'm very grateful to be able to share this with you this time, and to be given the opportunity leave Makerere University that we can share with you is my father's background. The Nsibirwa we are celebrating in this manner. I'll just show you that when it was 40 years after his death, in 1985, we decided, and my sisters and brothers were still around, to celebrate him. We had a service, and we went to our ancestral home in Namakomo, where also his pictures taken. And we decided to print, using our grandchildren also to help to print the book, this booklet. And Dr. Peter Mariga, please, again, I want to thank you that you did write the introduction here in this booklet in 1985. We were able to collect photographs, some of our work, some of our work with his family, some of his family, and I think this photograph comes from this booklet. And there's only photographs that we have in this booklet. We did, and we also took some pictures of Nsibirwa here. We sold it, we didn't send it in bookshops because we thought it wasn't good enough for selling. And we all the time wanted to update it and to improve on it. But this didn't happen. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. Telling him about his life that he's been in the office. And I would like to, I did send a copy to the Vice Chancellor's office early this week. So we plan to improve on it and perhaps make it, it will improve even